What's up?
Gunnar, congratulations on your win this evening. Might have been one of the best performances of your career. Just got to ask, how do you feel after putting on a display like that?
Feels great, man. The fight went well, went my way, obviously, and it was a good first round as well. Just getting a feel for it, and I'm actually enjoying spending a little bit more time in the octagon than maybe some of my previous fights. I feel like I learned more.
And the finish that you had was spectacular. When you land the right hand, the kick lands. It looked like the knockout was there for the taking. What's going through your mind at that point? Obviously, we think of you as a gifted submission artist, but it looked like you could finish it. Instead, you basically pull him to the ground and finish him there. What's the thought process and the selection process as that's unfolding?
At that point, it was just the most obvious opening for me. It was just. I thought the way it went was just the most clinical, really. He was, instead of running into him and throwing a bunch of shots to get the knockout, it was just he was out. There was no need to give him a few more punches to the face. He's a pretty guy as well. He's a model, There was no need. There's no need.
Very fair of you there. And I guess, what would you like to see next? Because very talented, people not always talking about you with some of the the top names of the division, but certainly I think you provide problems for anybody in the division. So, kind of what do you see next for yourself? I know that you work with some people that are pretty good at asking for what they want. What do you feel like you want and need next?
What I'm looking at now is just get 2 more fights this year. Obviously, try to get some good opponents, some top-ranked opponents, preferably. Well, right now, my mind is just looking to get home, go home to my son, get back to the gym. As I said, like that time spent in the octagon, there's a lot of things that I can learn from there. There's a good few moments there, and just that time you spend there, the feel for being in there, in the energy. I feel like I learn a lot from that, and I felt different this time in the cage that I felt in a long time or ever. It's changing a little bit for me, and it's better. It's better than it used to be.
Gunnar, you decided again not to wrap your hands before the fight, and this time you chose to have small gloves. You usually wear large gloves.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to have small gloves?
Yeah, usually I wear large gloves. I was gonna wear medium this time, and then Makwan was there with his gloves, and they were small. He was wearing reps, and he was like unsure if he wanted to wear the small gloves. They were hurting him a little bit, so I just tried them on. I was just gonna like wear them, kind of wear them out for him, and then I felt like I could wear them. That's once you just stretch them a bit, they feel nice and they're lighter. It feel like an old school karate glove, and that's what it felt like. I had my corner, just my dad and Yoma stretched the shit out of them for like 1.5 hours, and they felt amazing.
What sort of difference does it make for you to have small gloves?
Yeah, it's the reason why I don't wrap my hands is because I get a better feel for my hands when I'm working. I'm grappling. I'm feeling my opponent. I like to use my hands. I do like grappling much better without gloves. So the smaller the gloves are, the easier it is to get the chokes in and get your hands slipping them here and there. Get the grips that you want. The only reason, like the only benefits I feel to the glove is because of the cage. If you're holding somebody and they put their back against the cage and your hand is there, if you're not wearing a glove, that's really going to hurt your hand. So, but that small glove didn't make any difference on that. It was just better, It just feels more like your hand.
You said you felt different in there tonight. We haven't seen you in the octagon since last May. I know you were supposed to headline Belfast in October, but that didn't obviously happen. Mm-hmm. Why do you think you felt so different in there tonight?
Well, I did feel slightly different my last fight as well, and then now. I don't know what it is exactly. I just think my mind is changing a little bit towards the fight itself. The way I'm thinking or not thinking when I'm in the part of my head that deals with strategy has just changed a little bit, and I'm using it more. Whereas before it was like just pure killer instinct. Just going in there and just doing what I know how to do and doing it as soon as possible. It's changed a bit now, and I think that's needed to go all the way in this. But still, I'm always going to look for the finish. It just makes it. I think it makes it easier this way instead of just going autopilot. Doing all your moves and maybe getting the decision. Just roughing it out. Be strategic and get the finish. Finish the fight.
You said you want to fight another 2 times. Is there any? We've got a lot of European events coming up this year. Any particular event that kind of stands out that you'd like to get on?
Well, I had to go back and talk with my team about that. But yeah, definitely, I love fighting in Europe.
Gunnar, how important was the loss to Rick Story in terms of your development as a mixed martial artist? That fight, it looked to me at least as if when you lost that fight, it was a case of running out of time to actually find the finish. And since then, we've seen a much more ruthless Gunnar Nelson. Is that something that you've paid particular attention to and to push the pace a little bit more and maybe be a bit more prepared to really commit to the strikes when the opportunities arise?
Yeah, that's a good example of where I go into a bit of an autopilot mode and just don't really think. And then I watch the fight and I'm thinking, what the hell was I doing? You know what I mean? Like, not that taking anything from Rick Story. He's an amazing fighter, great fighter, very tough. But yeah, I did learn a lot from that fight. Yeah, maybe when it comes to just like changing the pace a little bit of the fight, changing your, you might even do the same moves, the exact same moves, but just do them differently. Do them from in a different pace, different timing. Just watch your opponent a little bit and stalk him.
And on a light note, we had a little bit of incident last night at the Fighter Hotel. Everybody was evacuated with the fire alarm. We spoke to your coach, John Kavanagh, and there's a bit of humour around how you might have reacted to such an incident. Tell us how it was for you and what your reaction was at the time.
I was just screaming, scared. It's crazy. No, we were actually literally about to close our eyes, and then this thing goes off, and we didn't know it was just in our room. Actually, one of my roommates farted really bad, and we were actually discussing if it was that, because it was fucking horrendous. Sorry for cursing, but yeah, we waited a while. Actually, we were just thinking it would go off eventually, but the sound was really annoying, wasn't it? It was just. Finally, I was just wearing my underwear, about to go to sleep, and I kind of peek out, and I see a couple of gentlemen there, as lost as I was, just kind of looking around, seeing what people were doing, and then eventually we smelled a little burn, and we decided that was maybe a good idea to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, here. So you said after you caught him, you didn't want to hurt him anymore with the punches, but did it went through your mind that it would be better to have a submission than to have a knockout for your record, for example?
No, to be honest, I was just joking with the model thing and all that, but I didn't go through my mind. It didn't go through my mind that I didn't want to hurt him, or it just kind of happened that way. I punched him. I could see he was out, and I just felt like this was the finish that was there. Maybe it's just not as much in me to go and swing my arms and try to really hurt him. I guess you could say that, but just there was no need. As I said, just grab him and put my hands around his neck and finish the job. It was just clean.
And did you turn him?
Did I turn him? No, he turned.
Or he turned
Yeah.
as he wanted to escape?
Yeah, I think he turned. I don't know how like if his mind was there or what was going on, but he turned, I think.